Hi everyone, this is Angela and Ryan with LostReviews.com, and we're here for another episode of Blue Monday. We got a bunch this week.
Yeah.
You, last week were like,
I promise
we
no.
don't have them. And I said, or maybe.
Yep.
And we have a bunch, so we'll get started. First up, we have a very surprising comedy of Very Harold and Kumar Christmas. And this was filmed in 3D, but we don't have the 3D version here. But it's obvious that it needs to be seen in 3D.
I enjoyed this movie a whole lot. The first 15 minutes really clock. Like, we get through this thing and we're laughing, like a laugh a minute in the very beginning. Really funny movie. I'm totally shocked.
I am too.
Totally shocked. I didn't really read any reviews about it. We didn't go see it when it was in the theaters. Totally skipped it because I didn't...
Well, it's like the third movie, so you think, well, there's probably nothing to it. But they really kind of reinvented themselves, and they took every joke and cliche that, you know, sequels and prequels and everything else deal with, and they just, like, owned it.
Yeah, and brought back NPH was amazing at this.
He's always funny. But yeah, he was bringing in jokes from his own life into that, so really raunchy and fun, just like the other ones. They still have a great chemistry between
But I'm going to say, I saw the first two. I enjoyed the first one mildly. I saw the movie. I enjoyed it. The second one, I didn't think it was that great. This one, I feel like everybody should own for a comedy in their collection, and especially if you have a 3D TV, go buy this because...
Yeah, the 3D was really fun in this. Now, we were watching it in 2D, but you can tell the parts that were supposed to be... Because every time they'd, you know, take a puff of smoke, it would blow out at the camera, and you could tell it was 3D, or like... breaking a window, things would fly out at you, and just ridiculous things.
And it's kind of like with 3D, like I always say, it's the Christmas present where the kid wants Guitar Hero and mom gets him Guitar Player. So when you're watching these 3D movies in 2D on your Blu-ray, you're like, shit, man.
Got the wrong one.
I really want a Blu-ray. I really want a 3D TV.
Yeah, definitely. And we don't come across these very often, movies that you should actually get in 3D versus 2D.
Yes.
This is one of them.
I will be picking it up in 3D this Tuesday. So by Harold and Kumar, a very Harold and Kumar Christmas, awesome claymation scene in here, documentaries about the making of and talking head things. So very cool.
And there's also, never mind, you just said it.
Yeah.
I wasn't listening.
Special features. All right.
Okay.
So let's move on.
Next up this week, Lady and the Tramp from Disney.
Yes.
Got on Blu-ray.
Another example of second screen. Fuck yes.
I love this movie.
Second screen is the greatest thing to happen to Blu-ray. Seriously. Not only does it sell Blu-ray players and HD TVs, but it sells iPads.
Yeah.
The technology
really
here is awesome.
Here.
And of course, it's a Disney restoration of Lady and the Tramp, and you always get the best of the best when it comes to these restorations. The special features are loaded. It is a must-have. Like, if you have a family, you have to own these Disney classics.
Well, yeah, and especially, these older ones always go into so much detail about Walt Disney himself. They have interviews with, I think it's the daughter on there.
I mean, almost tear-jerking documentaries here.
I love Walt Disney.
Yes. Lady and the Tramp, I mean, you love it, and you're not even talking about it.
No, I know, because the songs on there are going to make me start singing if I think about it.
Yes, we are saying these if we please. But definitely, Lady and the Tramp, buy this on Blu-ray.
It looks really good.
If you're a fan of the films, you're a fan of Walt Disney, you have to get all these new classics that they're bringing out because they're going to throw them in the vault. I don't even know what that means anymore. Where
is this vault? I mean...
It's filled with Laserdiscs and VHSs.
Is it still going to survive after the apocalypse?
I think so. If the apocalypse happens, the end of 2012, I'm going to Walt Disney Studios and I'm getting in the fucking vault.
That's where you have to go if you want to live.
Yes.
Okay, so don't jump off a cliff and hope a portal
But I will
opens
fucking
up.
bring movies with me. I will. I will bring movies with me.
Okay, so next up we have, this is just on DVD this week for us, Fireflies in the Garden, which is kind of a smaller film. I hadn't really heard of it much.
Yeah, a smaller film. It had a lot of buzz coming around Oscar season, and then it quickly dropped off. It is filled with every star that you could possibly want to see in here. Willem Dafoe, Ryan Reynolds, Julia Roberts. Yes.
Carrie-Anne Moss.
It's a story where Ryan Reynolds' character kind of revisits his childhood, had issues with his father, and now his mother, Julia Roberts, has passed on, and the family's kind of getting together, big chill style. And
I remember watching a trailer for this. Yeah.
Yes, and you know, his aunt that lived with them now has kids, and it's just kind of changing in the family dynamic. They're all older now, dealing with their issues. Ryan Reynolds and William Dafoe dealing with their issues as father and son coming back together. Because they
hated each other, right?
They still hate each other.
Okay.
In this movie, they still hate each other. The film is really good, well acted, well shot, but the ending is a major disappointment.
Really?
A major disappointment. And I'm a big, if your ending doesn't thrill me kind of guy, then the movie kind of
I know.
fails.
You've said that a lot about movies where you really like it up to the end and then you just throw it away after that.
The end kind of falls apart for me. I really enjoyed the story, but because of the end, I'm going to give this a pass.
Oh, a total pass.
A total pass. I mean, if you're interested in seeing the film, then check it out, but don't expect much.
Oh, okay.
Not much for special features either.
Well, that's probably why it dropped off the radar so quickly then.
Yeah, not much on special features is also why I'm giving this a pass.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then moving on. Those are all three are going to come out this Tuesday, the 7th. But these other ones we have kind of showed up late, so they're already available to go out and buy right now.
Yes.
So on Blu-ray, something called The Mill and the Cross.
Yes,
with
this is
Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, crazy ass Rutger Hauer. This is a festival favorite. It is about Christ as he passes through, you know, to be crucified, and this painting. God, I can't remember what the painting's called right now. I'm gonna go crazy, but it's the film is really an exploit of this painter that's developing this painting, and you're living in the painting. The painting has over 200 characters in it. It's a large painting, and he follows each individual. He goes like to 10. He picks 10 or 12 people in the painting to focus his attention on. So we're seeing how this painting kind of comes to life before your eyes, and that is really the selling point of the film.
That's neat.
It's seriously beautiful cinematography and special effects, because you see as he's painting the painting and each part of everybody's life and how they're moving around while he's painting them. Instead of this painting just being a flat kind of surface and just an image to view, it becomes life. The painting truly comes to life, and it's marvelously beautiful. The only problem is you know, it's like watching paint dry. There's not much story going on here. You're just kind of seeing like these people's lives, and then the painter and the profiteer guy that's, you know, paying him to do the painting and taking care of him, and kind of, you know, just that kind of dynamic. But I mean, it's a good film. It's a good film to see, but I'm just gonna give it to rent it because it's hella boring. It is so boring, but it does push film forward, and it's beautiful.
It's only an hour and a half.
It's a hard hour and a half. A lot of the first 20 minutes is just people walking around.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting, though.
It's an interesting film.
I think I'd like to check it out just because, like, the way you're explaining it, I feel like I'd have to see it just to know what you're talking about.
And I'm totally ruining, like, the detail on it.
Not even giving it justice, are you?
Not at all, but it does look beautiful, and it's worth seeing just to see the cinematography of it.
Okay. Well, then next up, a movie that's also already out, The Big Year, with my man Steve Martin and some other people.
And who the hell knows what a big year is?
Nobody.
Obviously, it has to do with going out and seeing birds and seeing how many birds you can see in a year.
Yeah, we've also got Owen Wilson and Jack Black in this.
And they go on the basis, I think, that everybody knows what this is. I mean, there's even news broadcasts.
They explain it, but the way that they act out the film, they act as in
it's a documentary.
It's something that everybody knows about within the world of the film.
Yeah.
That it's not, like, because they have the news meteorologist talking about, oh, well, there's a egret that was sighted out here.
Yeah,
and
the birders up in...
Yeah, and I've never ever heard anybody on the news talk about, oh, the birders are going to this place and that place, and so that was the only thing. And it did play out like a documentary. Like if you were to watch a nature documentary about animals, oh, and now the male species goes to do this. That's the way that Malcolm McDowell is narrating this film about these three characters, and he calls them something like the retired one and the single one, or something, you know, like that. as if they're creatures to be
Now,
watched.
you enjoyed it more than I did. I just couldn't get into the film because I couldn't get into the film's subject matter. Like, they want you to... I mean, the film is about birding, and we already explained what birding is, but really what they want you to do is fall in love with these characters, and I never got connected to the characters.
Oh, I did a little bit. Now, I didn't like Owen Wilson, but there's so many films that I just don't like his character. It's hard. Like, he needs to have more characters, like in Darjeeling, where you really love him. So again, he played the ass, like he always does, and so you don't like him like you're supposed to. But I felt for Jack Black's character, and of course I love Steve Martin in anything he does, so I felt for those characters, and they had real attachments in the movie that you wanted to work out. But, yeah, I mean, it had good, mediocre comedy. I'd say it's funnier towards the beginning, and then they have to set up the storyline like they do with every film, and it starts to get a bit more serious. And I guess it was actually based on a real guy, the guy who set the record, because at the end it does talk about his record number that he gets, and they start showing these pictures of all these birds that he's taken. Like, it runs through the entire credits, and they're just flashes of birds like this, that fast, and you get through the entire credits and they're still going. There's that many birds that he spotted.
I mean, it's an interesting thing. I had no clue that this even existed.
I had no clue there was that many birds in North America.
I mean, it's just a movie that's, you know, white people problems. Totally full of white people problems. But it does include the theatrical version and an extended version. Special features wise, not much there.
There's not at all, really. There's some additional footage.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was kind of underwhelmed by that. I thought there'd be more.
But what are you going to give The Big Ear? Because I'm already giving it a pass because
I'm going to give it a rent because it's worth, I guess it's worth watching once. If you're in a mood, I want to get a popcorn night, maybe something to laugh at. Oh, Steve Martin's in this, Jack Black, all these funny people. I guess
it's not that funny.
It's worth a rent.
It's not that funny.
It's more serious, I guess. It's just like a PG comedy. They're not like outstretching for anything outrageous in this film.
I mean, Jack Black kind of redeemed himself a little bit for me. He's actually good in this.
Yeah, but and it looks really good because there's a lot of scenery in this film where they're going from places to spot birds, so it looks really good.
All right.
So that looks good. All right, so next up, a nice little old classic 100-year anniversary to Kill a Mockingbird on Blu-ray now.
No. It's not the 100-year anniversary of To Kill a Mockingbird.
Nope,
it is the 100th-year anniversary of Universal freaking Studios, man.
I read it wrong.
Yes, just watching, if you go on YouTube right now and you watch the trailer for the 100th anniversary of Universal Studios, you will freak out because the trailer itself is worth picking up this Blu-ray. I've watched the thing millions and millions of times. We go through Jaws, E.T. Oh, man, so cool. But the biggest part of this 100-year anniversary that they're doing is restoring these old movies like To Kill a Mockingbird. Mm-hmm. And there are 2 documentaries about the film on the special features. This thing is packed with special features. Yes. And the case is beautiful. The film speaks for itself. Huge, you know, discussion about racism.
Cultural influence of, you know, movies,
Way before its time. Way before its time.
And it does look, the restoring on this is really, really good because remember, there's one point towards the end where there's a scene. There's just a real quick scene.
Yeah, it looks like they missed a reel.
Yeah.
There's like just a 2-spot thing where two frames.
It just flips back real quick to like how it probably looked in its original state, and it's really blurry.
Yeah, and I imagine that those 2 frames were really, you know, degraded and stuff like that. But
they couldn't do much with them.
They couldn't do much with them, but they went through, and this thing looks beautiful.
It's crisp.
If you ever dreamt of owning a 35mm print of To Kill a Mockingbird,
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it now.
And it does look good. And the story holds up like it always does. I've never been a big fan of this film. I do think Gregory Peck is amazing in it.
And this Blu-ray has something that I think all Blu-rays of Oscar-winning films should have. It has his acceptance speech.
Does it really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I totally feel like every movie that has... I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Put that kind of really special stuff on.
That's only going to be able to happen on movies that are either re-released or they wait over a year to release it on Blu-ray because the movies that are nominated now are already coming out on Blu-ray before the Oscars. So they would have to...
Yeah, but when you come out with your, you know, years
special
past,
edition one?
Yeah, if Black Swan comes out with a 10-year special edition, you have Natalie Portman's acceptance speech on there.
That would be cool.
You put that on everything.
Then you remember, yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome.
That is cool. I never
That
thought
is
about
awesome.
that.
I mean, commentaries, a look back from siblings of the director, just awesome. Great film. Buy this.
Pick it up, people.
Yes. Actually, I can't wait, and I hope they do this, to come out with Universal that's putting out all these remastered things. It's a huge just box set. Just do that, man.
One big box
Universal logo on it, and just awesome.
It'd just be a big globe that you can open up, and it's filled with movies.
And I mean,
and it spins on its axis when you're not looking at it.
Opening this up, like, get this out. Opening this up, there's a little pamphlet of a tease of what's coming out next, and that's Jaws and E.T., baby.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Coming
awesome.
in 2012.
It's gonna be awesome. And the E.T. version isn't that crazy one that Spielberg put out where E.T.'s eyes blink and stuff. Spielberg, after seeing the Star Wars stuff, said he's done with that. This E.T. version that's coming out is the original version.
Oh, good.
No added special effects.
That's weird to have E.T. blink.
Yes. So last week we told you that we'd check out In Time, and we'd tell you kind of like what the Blu-ray looked and if it changed our mind about the film, since last week we only had the DVD.
And that was for In Time.
Yes. So
on Blu-ray.
Didn't change me much.
I definitely saw a big difference in the color.
Yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful, but we were kind of hoping that it would have more of a futuristic feel.
Yeah. No, it's still really... And I even made the comment when we watched it again, it actually feels more futuristic slash, I guess, Raining with Money-esque in the poorer parts of the town, in the ghettos, because they have brick walls that they'll paint like neon green or bright blue just to put some color in there, whereas in the richer town that they go visit, it's still a lot of brick walls and boring white. But all the colors are very, very, very crisp in the Blu-ray, which you didn't really see that in the DVD. So this is definitely worth seeing on Blu-ray versus DVD.
Yeah. But I still say, In Time is more like I have a free coupon at Redbox kind of rent, rather than, you know, purchase.
It's like
I've ran out of movies to see. I'm standing in Blockbuster and I'm scanning the aisles, and please find me a movie. That movie's In Time. So check it out if you have no other choice.
Yeah, really, basically my only big change is that the coloring looks dramatically different.
Well,
from
another
DVD
big
to
change
Blu-ray.
is the sound. Holy crap.
Did you notice
the sound
look better?
is
look better?
I mean, come on. When we get these DTS original masters of the sound, yes, the sound is better.
Yeah.
It's on Blu-ray.
But the story itself doesn't change from DVD to Blu-ray, so it's just an okay story. Check it out. See it once.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
It's a popcorn movie.
Cool. Well, that is it from us here at LostInReviews.com, and we will see you next week.
All right.